All right, guys, so yesterday we were sketching functions, and today we are going to continue sketching polynomial functions, but now I want to introduce you guys to something called multiplicity. And this is the number of times a factor appears in a polynomial. So here's an example of an equation. It says f of x is equal to x plus 4 squared times x minus 2 cubed. All right, let's talk about how I could rewrite this equation and what each piece of it represents. Okay, so I'm going to grab this real quick and just write on it for you guys. So if I were to rewrite that equation, I could rewrite this equation as x plus 4 times x plus 4, because that's what that exponent of 2 means, and x minus 2 times itself 3 times. All right, because that's what that cubed thing there means. All right, so multiplicity is just telling us like, oh, so this factor appears twice, so this x-intercept has a multiplicity of 2. Multiplicity is also telling us like, hey, this factor here appears 3 times, so that x-intercept has a multiplicity of 3. All right, so if a factor appears 1 time, it's called a single root, or it has a multiplicity of 2. If a factor appears 2 times, it's called a double root. It just has a multiplicity of 2. And if a factor appears 3 times, multiplicity of 3, it's called a triple root. So now I want to talk about what these look like, okay? So a multiplicity of 2, which is the x plus 4, just means it appears twice. And let's see what that looks like when it appears twice. So it goes here to x plus 4 goes to negative 4, and then here. Okay, so it looks like the double root bounces off of the x-axis. It doesn't cross through it, it just touches it and bounces. Okay, let's see what the triple root does. The factor that appeared 3 times. 1, 2, 3. There we go. The triple root looks like a cubic function to me. So double roots look like a quadratic. They just touch the x-axis and bounce off of it. They don't cross, they just touch. And then triple roots do this curvy, I think it looks like a paper clip if you unfold it, but you could also say it looks like a cubic function. So I want you guys to describe on the next slide what you notice about what the double root looks like, the blue point, and what the triple root looks like. So pause this video so you can describe what it looks like on this Desmos, slide 21. All right, so now we're going to continue and we're gonna start sketching these bad boys. So we're gonna start off sketching these just like we did on all the stuff we did yesterday. So we're gonna start off first by putting our x-intercepts in there. And remember, we have to label these guys. So we're gonna have an x-intercept at negative 3 because of that plus 3 there. So I'm gonna put a point there and label it negative 3. We're also going to have an x-intercept at positive 2. But something I want you guys to notice while I'm putting these points in here and labeling them, I want you to notice that the factor x plus 3 appears twice because it's being squared. That means it has a multiplicity of 2, which means it is a double root. All right? Okay, so now I'm going to find my y-intercept. Remember, to find the y-intercept, we just plug in 0 and then simplify it from there. So I'm plugging in 0 into the equation. All right, you could do the mental math there, or you could use a calculator. Either way you do it, you're going to get 9 times negative 2, which is negative 18. So that's where our y-intercept is, and I'm plotting the point and I'm labeling it. All right, now we connect the dots, okay? The right side is going to go up because the leading coefficient is positive. There's a positive 1 in the front. And now we just connect our dots. Remember, we do our lumps and bumps to connect our dots. All right, it's getting a little ugly right there. Sorry about that. All right, and then double root is gonna bounce. And that's it. Now with this one, I do have to tell y'all something. I messed up the check my sketch, and so it's not gonna sketch the right thing, but just pay attention to what I just sketched there. All right, write down any questions you have right now. All right, guys, we're going to try out another one, okay? Now, the rest of these check my sketches do actually work. Okay, so to sketch a polynomial, first we find the x-intercepts. So let me find those bad boys from the factors. This would be -1 for the first factor, +2 for the second factor, and -4 for the third factor. -4 has a multiplicity of 2 because it's being squared. That factor appears twice, so it is a double root. All right, so I just like to make a little note to myself so when I get there, I'll know I need to either bounce off of it like that or bounce off it like that. Okay, so now I'm going to find my y-intercept, and this time I'm going to plug it into the calculator. So don't forget that negative in the front, and we just plug in 0 to find the y-intercept. All right, and I got 32, so I'm going to plot my point up here at 32, label that bad boy. And now we start connecting our dots. The right side is going to go down because of the negative in the front. It's a negative leading coefficient. So I'm going to draw my right side going down. And now I'm going to connect my points. We'll go this way. And then this way. I'm kind of struggling again. There we go. Double root bounces. And that's what it should look like. Make sure anytime you touch the x-axis, you're only touching at the points that we plot there. And also, anytime you touch the y-axis, you should only touch at the points that we have plotted, the x-intercepts and the y-intercepts. All right, and you can click Check My Sketch to check your sketch. All right, now we've got one with a cubic root. It's x cubed times x plus 5 squared. So we're going to find our x-intercepts, and we've got one at 0, comes from the first factor. 0 is actually a triple root because it appears 3 times. It's being cubed. And then we have a factor of x plus 5, so that means x-intercept at -5. Now, that factor is being squared, so that means it is a double root, all right? Double root. There we go. And anytime you have an x-intercept at 0, the y-intercept is also 0. But if you don't trust me, just go ahead and plug those bad boys in. Plug in 0 to solve for the y-intercept. And then you'll see that the answer is 0, because anything times 0 is 0. All right? So anyway, now I'm going to connect my points. And remember, our triple roots look like a cubic function. Double roots, when they touch the x-axis, they look like a quadratic function. All right? So the right side, starting with the leading coefficient, the right side's going to go up because of a positive leading coefficient. Positive one is at the beginning. I'm going to make it go up like that because I need to make it look a little lumpy when I draw it. All right, so cubic looking when it passes through for the triple root. Now we got to come back this way. Double root is going to touch the x-axis and go right back down. So it's going to do something like that. All right, and then you can check your sketch to make sure you sketched it correctly, and ours is lumpy here. It does do a double root out that way, so we're good. All right, you guys try out the next ones, and to check your answers, just click Check My Sketch. So you guys try out this one on slide 25, this one on slide 26, and this one on slide 27. Pause the video to work on those, and remember, when you're ready to check your sketch, click Check My Sketch. Make any corrections that you noticed you made a mistake on. All right, so it looks like if you've made it this far in the video, you were able to finish sketching all of those polynomials. Now I want you to do this challenge question. I want you to look at this graph based off of everything you learned today about negative, making the right side go down, about the double roots and the triple roots, about the x-intercepts, multiplicity. I want you to put all that stuff together and answer this challenge question. We are going to choose the equation, even though it's not labeled. We're going to choose the equation below. That is the best possible equation for this graph. After you selected your answer, I want you to explain why you chose that and try and use some vocab. Talk about double roots, triple roots, x-intercepts, y-intercepts. leading coefficients being positive or negative. Maybe even bring up degree and how that affects the graph. Now, once you're done answering this question, the only thing left for you to do now is to slide this ladder to how you're feeling about what you have finished learning today. If you got it, slide your Hulk fist to I got it. If you're like, I have mastered it, I am smart Hulk, then slide it all the way to the end because you're a master. If you're just like, I'm okay, then slide it to the middle and say you're okay. A little loss will be on the left. And then if you are mad Hulk mad and confused, and slide it all the way to the left, just let me know. Whatever you choose, let me know why you slid it there, and whatever questions you have, submit them here. All right, and that's it, guys. Have a good day.